I'm Tara Bilek. Candace is on, I think. I don't know if Shane's on. I know. Oh, Shane is on. Good. She's in the car, I believe. We are really, really excited to do this. Like, we just came up with this plan to kind of get our a couple of our two-star and above coaches on here in like a panel format and ask them questions. Because I know for me and my business, two stars when the magic started happening. Like I didn't, and basically it was, I got my husband there and there was another coach that got there. But if it wasn't going to be that person, my mom would have been the other person. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel like once you get to two-star, you're able to create another one of you in your downline, which is everything. So we are going to just have our coaches. I'm going to introduce them. And then we are going to ask them questions. That's it. And after I'm done asking them questions, you guys are welcome to ask questions and unmute yourselves, which is really great. Okay. So we have Danielle. Danielle, can you say hi? Danielle is Candace's coach and best friend, right?
I'm
Candace?
stuffing my face with shrimp. I'm always eating on calls. I'm so sorry.
Always.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Hi. Danielle, you and Candace knew each other for how long?
Oh my gosh. We met when we were like 4 years old in ballet class. And then we reunited in middle school, and the school was never the same again because we're both really weird, and we made everyone
So were you like best friends through middle school and high school?
Oh yeah, we go way back. We're pretty much sisters. Might as well been from the same mom.
That is so awesome. I love it. So when she joined, what happened? Were you like, yeah, I'm in?
So it's actually such a funny story. Well, it's probably not that funny to everyone else, but I think it's funny. Anyway, so before Candace told me she was a coach, I got into Beachbody. I was at the time on an airplane, and Brazil butt lift came on with Leandro Cavallo. That was the first Beachbody program that I ever saw. And I had a dancing background. Candace and I danced our whole youth together. And so when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, this stuff really, I bet, gives you the best butt ever. And I used to struggle with getting my lower half the way I wanted it. Like I hated my legs forever. Like literally, I didn't like my legs until I started Beachbody. And that was like, when did I start Beachbody programs? Maybe 5.5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. I never liked my lower half until the Brazil butt lift. And so I totally got hooked. I was working out, like 2.5 hours a day, running 3 miles a day. I literally started that program 30 minutes a day. It was pretty amazing. So I got hooked. And then I'm like, all right, what's Beachbody have next that I could buy? So then I bought Chalene, her Turbo Fire. And again, totally hooked. After Turbo Fire, I wanted to do Chalene Extreme. So I was talking to Candace on the phone one day, and I'm like, oh my God. And again, just total organic sharing, not even a coach, knew nothing about being a coach. And I was like, I just purchased Chalene Extreme. You got to like try these programs on Beachbody. And she goes, oh my God, you should have gotten it from me. And I was like, what do you mean? And she goes, I'm a coach for Beachbody. And I'm like, whoa, a coach? Like, no, I am Beachbody. I am Beachbody. How are you a coach for Beachbody? I'm not a coach for Beachbody. But I was actually so busy at the time. I was managing like 8 different venues in the city. Like I was an event planner in Boston for a really, really long time. So like, I really didn't need another job. I loved my job and I was making really good money, already making a 6-figure income. So it's not like it was something at the time I really needed. But I just like the fact that you could be a coach for the company because I loved them so much. So I'm like, that's so cool. I'm like, well, I didn't know that. I'm like, how do I become a coach? And she's like, well, at the time, she's like, well, you have to, we can sign you up. And she's like, and you have to get Shakeology. And I'm like, no, I don't want Shakeology. I just want the program now. I don't need Shakeology. And she's like, no, you have to try it. And I was like, do I have to get Shakeology to be a coach? And at the time, she had just signed up. So she was like, yes. And I was like, whatever, fine, I'll try it. So I tried it, and I took like my first picture, and then I took a picture 2 weeks later doing the same workout, and I was like, what the F is in the shake? So I have been on the shake literally since 2013, or I think that's when I signed up in March. And then all of a sudden I started to, like, naturally sharing on Facebook, just being like I would normally do. I wasn't doing something I wouldn't do normally. And I started getting just people ask me what I was doing all the time. And people were asking me what I was doing before I became a coach. So anyways, to sum it up, I started as a hobby coach. And then once I had my son, shit hit the fan. And all of a sudden I was like, nope, this has to become full-time, because I'm not going back to 12-hour days. I have to be home with him, and I'm not having another woman raise my son. I'm not going to do it. So my son is what changed everything from I'm happy where I am to I'm not happy where I am. And thank God I was introduced to this opportunity, and I have an option, because I wouldn't have had an option before. And I really don't know what I would have done. It would have been really different for me.
That's super powerful. It's so true. And that's the cool thing about coaching. It gives us choices. So we can choose to work full time. We can choose to stay in our job. We can choose to do this part time. You can choose to do whatever you want with it. I love that. Okay, Chrissy, unmute yourself. Hey, girl.
Hi.
Hey. So Chrissy is another one of Candace's coaches. And so, Chrissy, how did you get started in the business?
I was doing Beachbody. I think I started P90X like maybe a full year before I even knew you could be a coach. And I was like finally a stay-at-home mom that I always wanted to be, but really, really unhappy. So when I started P90X, like I had always worked out. I was like similar to Danielle. I was in the gym like 2 hours a day. And then once I had kids, I couldn't get there, and I kind of lost like that part of me. And one day, like just the stars aligned, and both of my youngest were napping, and I found P90X on my shelf. And I was like, who is this guy? You know, I don't know if you've seen the cover, but it's like his body, and like, I don't know, it was like weird to me. I thought maybe it was like martial arts or something. And I put in plyometrics.
Oh my gosh.
Like, this looks good. And died. You know, like died in my living room. And when I finished the workout, I was like crying and sweating, and I was, you know, it was like amazingly, terribly awesome. And I was like, okay, I need this. Like, I need to work out. Like, I reignited that part of me that I lost. So I did a couple more workouts, and then by like the Monday, I was like, I'm doing the program. So I did P90X like by myself. And then a few months after that, I was doing T25, and we were kind of like needing something, a second income. And I was talking to my best friend, and she told me about this girl on Facebook. She actually told me, she's like, okay, there's this girl on Facebook. Mark went to high school with her. That's my best friend's husband. And she's like making money doing T25. And I was like, what? What do you mean she's making money? She's like, I don't know. She like does T25 for a living. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I got in touch with Candace. So like it was completely Candace, you know, sharing on Facebook every day that connected us. So like when I connected with her, I didn't know her. I wasn't even Facebook friends with her.
That's so
and
awesome.
that's how it started.
I love it. I love it. The power of social media.
Yeah. So
and you know, and there's always connections. Like usually it's like, oh, you got to go check out my friend so-and-so because she's doing this. It's always like, you never know. You might not hit that person, but that person's friend might be needing it, you know? I love it.
Exactly.
Okay, Janet, you're up. Janet is in my downline. Janet, she's amazing. Hey, girl.
Hey, how are you?
So good. So tell us how you started, Janet.
I basically knew I needed to change something about my life. I was very unhealthy, very unfit. I was very active. I had 2 young girls. I was a mom at 40 and 44. So it was, You know, I had a lot of my life at risk to get better and get healthier. And honestly, my family was actually trying to convince me to do gastric bypass. They were suggesting that. And I just said, there's got to be a healthier way. There's got to be something, there's got to be something else you can do. You know, I chronic diet, like a lot of people had done, lost weight, gained weight, did every program, always lost weight, always gained it back. Never, ever kept it off. And I'm the classic person that like watched a friend do 21-day fix and lose weight. And I was like, wonder if that would work for me. And again, I'm the classic person who started the program and said, oh no, I'm not going to do that Shakeology stuff. I could never do that. I like to eat my food. I like food. I don't want to do that shake thing. And she told me to just try it for a week. And I think it was actually like 10 days. It was a little bit longer. And then I finally said, hey, this is really good. I'm not as hungry anymore. I'm not as, you know, oh, wow. I had chronic pain in my knees. I had such severe inflammation in my legs. And Shakeology, again, I know it's not one of the claims, but it helps tremendously. I actually have torn meniscus in my knees. I had an ortho consult for surgery. I have never had to have the surgery yet because the pain has gone down so much.
Wow.
So literally, I'm still on my journey, but just the pain and aches of life have really gotten I'm so much better. You know, I'm a mom of tweens in my 50s, and this has been life-changing for me. So really has.
I love it. Thanks, Janet. All right, Stacy girl. Stacy's my coach. Let's unmute you. Hold on. Wait a minute. I can't unmute you. Can you unmute? There you go.
Hi, everyone. Okay, my name is Stacy Dasher. I have been coaching for 3.5 years, and I was the typical one, always up and down with my weight, gain 30, lose 20, gain 40, lose 15, gain 50, you know. And since I'm a kid, it's always been an issue for me. I've always looked at food as a reward, as the freedom of choice. Like, why can't I just eat what I want like other people and not put on weight? And I just always felt it was unfair to me. So I, of course, tried the 21-day fix after trying everything under the sun. And I was your star challenger, the one that posted every day, the one that was just all about the challenge group. And I felt great. I don't know, I probably lost about 11 pounds or so the first round. But here's the thing. I was asked several times to become a coach because I guess I was such an outgoing personality. You know, we always ask our star challengers if they want to coach. I was like, no, I do not think so. And at this time I said, the market's saturated, no thanks. Okay. So I've been very fortunate. I never needed the income. I didn't have to work. So it just didn't appeal to me. So fast forward a couple of days later, I meet a lady in town. We were at a school function. You know, the woman you meet at different functions in town. You're not really friends or acquaintances, but you kind of chit chat and shoot the breeze. And it was always about weight. You know, I would see her, she'd be up 10 pounds, I'd be down 10 pounds. She'd be up 20, I'd be up 30. It was one of those things. And she saw me and she said, Stacey, you look great. What are you doing? Now, let's face it, 10 pounds is not a big deal when you have 50 to lose. I think it becomes your demeanor, your attitude, your confidence level. And I really believe that that's what she saw more than anything else. And I said, oh, I just finished a round of the 21-day fix. And she said, oh, I just bought it. And I was like, from who? And she goes, oh, this guy at my job, his wife sells it. I said, oh, that's awesome. How do you like it? She said, I haven't opened the box yet. It's sitting on my counter. I was like, where's your coach? You know, what's up with that? And she said, I don't know. You know, I said, oh my God. I said, so at that second, I immediately felt I have to tell her everything I've learned the past 3 weeks. I have to explain to her, you know, what worked for me, why I love it so much. And I came home that night and I said, the market's not saturated. People need us. There's always going to be somebody that needs help no matter what. And I signed up to be a coach that day. And I never looked back.
She called me. Well, she messaged me on Facebook and I didn't know her.
She was not my original coach.
I was not her original coach, but she lives in my hometown. And I'll never forget the conversation. Mind you guys, I was a year in, maybe nervous to get on the phone still. She's talking to me and she's like, listen, what did you say? I'm going to knock your, what do you say? I'm going to be,
I said, I'm going to blow this shit up.
Yeah. That's what she said. I'm like, okay.
I said, there's no looking back. And you want to know something? It's been 40, I don't even know how many months. I've hit Success Club every single month. I've never missed a month. The community has been second to none. This has changed my life from the inside out. I have made friends that literally are my best friends in the whole world, and we don't even live in the same state. And I will never look back. I mean, this is an absolute gift that we offer people. And I actually feel bad when they don't see it.
That's so true. That's so powerful. Oh, Tamara, you're up, girly.
Hi.
Hey.
What do you want to know?
I want to know how you started. You had a big transformation.
Yes. So I actually worked in the same office as Shane. Our chairs butted up against each other. We couldn't push out from our desks without them hitting each other at the court. And she was the traditional gym rat who we would work all 8 hours, and she'd go pick up her kids. Our kids were in daycare together. She'd pick up her kids from daycare, shove them in the gym daycare. And I was like, I'm just not doing that. I didn't have a love for fitness. I thought people who liked fitness were nuts. And I wasn't willing to put my daughter in another daycare to get healthy. And so I was 215 pounds, and she came into work one day and said, I met this guy at the gym with these shakes, and I don't know, but there's like a business opportunity. Because she got a phone call. She got a follow-up phone call. I was like, you should totally do that. So I encouraged her to sign up as a coach, and she did. And then she proceeded to, on a daily basis, invite me. And I said to her, I'm getting ready, but I'm not ready. And she probably invited me 10 times, brought in, came into work, handed me my first Shakeology. I was like, I'm like, it's all right. I was eating so much processed food at that point. It didn't taste great. It was, I wanted a Wendy's Frosty. I didn't want Shakeology. And I was like, look, when I commit, and she and I talk about this obviously now, when I commit, I'm going to go all in, and I'm going to do this. And so finally, from her signing up in March of 2012, I signed up on August 1st. I was her first coach because she offered me the discount, and I like to shop at Marshall's. I go right to the back of the sales stuff. That's how I shop. And all she had to say was, "There's a discount," and I knew I needed to take off. I thought in my head I needed to take off. At that point, I would have been happy with 30, and I'm like, okay, I'm in it. I knew this was going to take me 6 months. I was going to drink this shake, and I wanted a discount. And that's really all I signed up to do. I was like, I don't want to be on no calls. I want to just focus on me. And the weight started to come off, and people wanted to know what I was doing. And I just started to tell them what I was doing. And I had always run a side hustle. I've worked with other at-home network marketing companies in the past. And I had a fateful lunch with Shane, our upline, and I was asked how much I would need to make. And she was already making that a week. And I was like, what? We work in the same office, and you don't do parties and stuff. I don't understand what's going on here. And that's when I just was like, okay, this is real. And so I was in leadership in another company, and I transitioned away, and I'm not going anywhere. I've been here now. I'm actively working this business since March of 2013.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I retired from my full-time job.
Yeah.
Full-time.
Love it.
We both retired. We both walked out of that.
All right. I don't know if Patty's on. I think.
I'm here.
Oh, where are you? I don't even see you. I don't know why I don't see you, but that's okay, Patty. You can definitely start. How did you start with Beachbody?
Okay, so Shane is my upline, and she was my college roommate. And so we had a friendship prior to any of us ever joining this. And I was a mom of 4. I was working full time. I was in an online doctoral program.
Wow.
And I had lost me. Like, I didn't even know where I was going on any given day of the week. I mean, serious autopilot. And Shane had started building her business. And so while I was growing resentful of my own situation, my own health, my own, like, I did nothing for me. And I was watching her on Facebook and on social media just start smiling more, traveling more. And I was like, wow, I know her. I know her family life. I know what she does. And how is it that she's creating this, that I'm seeing her come alive while I was like not even breathing. I was watching her just kind of light up. And it was December 29th, and I reached out to her and I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to do this. And it was great. She was like, okay, we'll talk January 1st. And I was like, no, tonight. So looking back, I was like, oh, I see what you're trying to do. But it was just my time. And about 4 days into Shakeology, I was like, oh, I have that energy. And I just started feeling better about my own health. And then it was honestly the mindset, the personal development, that my world just got brighter. Like, it got more colorful. And I was like, I don't have to stay on this like autopilot, and I can pause it and I can just breathe and be more intentional every day. And that's what sold me. My big aha.
Yeah. And it just helps you grow in every area. I mean, the personal development is everything. Everything.
Yeah, I'm a better mom. I'm a better daughter. I'm a better friend. You know, it just brought a better me. And who knew, by adding something like that to my plate, you know, like, I had no business adding anything, but I knew I needed it for me.
Right. Right. I love that. Thanks, Patty. Okay. So we're going to do this like rapid fire type of thing. First and foremost, so everyone that's going to be speaking, can you guys unmute yourselves? So I'm going to go through each one of you guys and ask you 2 questions. One of them, how long were you a coach before you hit 2-star, and who were those 2 diamonds that got you there? So Danielle.
Oh my gosh, let me think. I think I was, I think it took me, I started in, I think it was March of 2013, and I feel like I didn't do anything for the first 3 months. And Candace kept calling me and like blowing up my phone, and I kept getting really aggravated. And I'm like, I don't need to be directed. I'm self-disciplined. Damn it. Stop it. But then I was like, but I really should get going. She's kind of, I always get mad when people try to direct me, but then I'm like, but they do have a point. So, but yeah, and I think I dibble dabble the first year. I just feel like I was just playing around. I don't really feel like I really knew. I didn't know anything my first year. I really didn't. Nor did we have the stuff that we have now. Like, we didn't have the team calls. I used to have people come to my house and sit down at a table, and I would train them for like 2 hours. No wonder why they quit. They're like, what the heck? This is horrible. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. It was just so different. And I think I didn't really, I hit 2-star. I want to say I got my husband at the time. I got him to diamond. And then I had another coach of mine he hit 1-star in like record time. I think he hit 1-star in 2 months. It was like crazy. And I was like, what? And then I got my second CBC to 3. And I think, I want to say it was about 2.5 years in, I want to say. I think that sounds about right. Yeah. What was that?
Awesome.
Was there another question? I'm imagining that.
Yeah, your 2 diamonds, which you said was.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So there were 2 males. It was your husband and another male.
And
Wow.
the funny thing is my husband was on my strong leg, which I was really PO'd about because I didn't know, at the time it's kind of like most people like their significant other to be on their weaker leg. Mine was on my right. It's just how it happened. Like I said, I didn't really know what I knew now, but it ended up benefiting me because that's the side I needed, the diamond. So actually it's been benefiting me, believe it or not. Having
and
that
so many, you can work it that way too. I've watched so many videos on that.
And now I have 2 legs that are exactly the same in strength. So it's pretty cool. It could work either way for you,
Yeah, that's great. Chrissy, how about you?
I just looked it up. So it looks like a year.
That's great.
I don't believe it though. So Candace posted, that was like a year, right? March 2015. I was going to say 2 years, but it looks like it was a year. So it was my husband, and I had a discount coach become a business builder fast. She was the 3rd, Amanda Trottier. She was my husband, she was the 3rd person I signed. And when I signed her, I was like super scared, like didn't even want to ask her to be a discount coach because I was so uncomfortable with that conversation. But do it because I can't even imagine. We're like, we knew each other from high school, but weren't really friends. She's like one of my best friends. We've built the whole thing together. So yeah, those are my 2.
That's awesome.
It looks like here like it was a year, but.
Awesome. Janet.
Hey, let's see, I started August 2015 and I did diamond in 3 months. And then it was 1 year, it was August 2016. And we had a plan because I had a coach that started with me and kind of just started slowly. And then she started working the business and I said, hey, let's all do this. We had the idea to go for diamond. So she was going to go for diamond for herself. I was going to get my husband to diamond. And then a third, one of her coaches, Kelly, so it's Martina, Kelly, and I all went for diamond in that same, what was it, like a month or 2 that you work at it to get going. So we all hit together on the same date. They got there, whatever it was. And, for me, it was that diamond bonus, the 2-star bonus that I thought could be so great for my family and everything. But there was such an amazing way of working at it with your downline. It was such a great team. It was just everybody together and it formed this incredible bond. So
I love that idea.
We all hit together and that made me, my husband and Martina made me 2-star, and then Martina actually ended up being 1-star, and it just trickled down. So
that's so awesome. I love that, Janet. Thanks for sharing that with us. Okay, Stacy girl.
I want to say, I think it was almost a year and a half. And my first star was a coach that I had. And then my second star was my husband.
All right. Who else? Tamara.
So I think it took me about 18 months from the time I started working the business, truly working the business. My first diamond was my husband's account. Obviously, that was me building his account. And then I had built a lot for bank, not rank. So I had a really lopsided, I had other rank advancements, but could never hit that 2-star because I was trying. So finally hitting 2-star was a coach who I had approached a number of times on my team, Michelle, and she just said no to me a ton of times, and finally came on. She was a Group X instructor. She had everything that it could take and just didn't see the vision. And finally she was like, she just woke up one day and was like, okay, I want to do this. And I was like, oh, like, thank goodness, because I was, obviously I had that structural issue. So it was great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Patty.
So I was kind of like Tam, that I had, 2 and 3 on one side. And so I had, Kelly and Susan and Heather, and they were all bouncing in and out. And then I had another gal, Christy, go diamond. And so it went really quick from like 2-star to, to 3 and 4. And then I was actually able to get to 5-star because my second business center, I was able to move that one pretty quickly because I was kind of, pushing myself.
Mm-hmm. Along with them.
Like, I think it was 2-star around 18 months.
Awesome. I feel like that's like with a lot of you guys, it's like a year, 18 months, 2 years, but in that time frame. So a lot of you guys that are on here, if that's you, if you just started, or if you are in a year, like you can make this happen this year. 2-star is huge. So the next question, really important. I think a lot of you guys are going to be like, yes. Okay. What happened in your business when you hit 2-star? Did something click? Did your business change? What happened? Danielle.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, once you hit 2-star, a lot of things happen. And the biggest thing for me was I used to always say, like when I started really taking the business serious, that second year, and I was like, no, I'm going to do this. I remember saying, God, I wish I could just find me and put me under me because I'm like, I just need like 5 of me under me. And the coolest part is when you hit 2-star, you get to put you under you because you open up a brand new CBC. And that has been so huge because the way you can stack it and the way you can put people, I mean, that's a whole different training, but you double the amount of money because of the fact that you get to stack yourself on top of each other. And then it's so cool. Like you never feel like you're putting someone somewhere that you have to, that's always benefiting you somehow. So that was huge. And then of course the 2-star bonus is awesome. Getting that extra paycheck, that extra, whatever it is, I don't know, it's just awesome. You get this nice big boom. But also, yeah, you really just kind of, it's exciting. So it just kind of gets you so amped up with possibilities. And then you start realizing when you first start, you're like, oh, getting to diamond. Oh my gosh. Okay. Getting to 1-star. And then once you hit 2, you kind of are just kind of like, I could hit 5. I could do that. Like you just kind of start getting this mindset that anything's possible because you probably didn't think you could even get to diamond or you couldn't get to 1 or 2. So it kind of gives you that big boost of morale and you recognize as a real leader from the company. I got to go to LA to the 2-star leadership retreat. Like, hello, I was on an airplane drinking champagne going to LA. How cool did I feel? So yeah, you just really get a different type of recognition with the company. Even at Summit, the parties you get invited to and getting to meet the celebrity trainers. And, it's just, it's so exciting. And it's something that everyone should experience. So, yeah, it's really interesting.
Thank you. Chrissy, what about you?
Everything that Danielle said. For me, the biggest thing, opening my second business center, it got me really learning more about just being a business owner in general. It made me more business minded. And I mean, I was always out to build this thing, but it really took away any of like the hobby stuff. I felt legit. I felt more confident when I posted, when I talked to someone about the business. Because opening that second business center too, I learned so much about volume and, how to build for volume and all of that. So it gave me a lot of confidence when I'm speaking to someone about the opportunity because I actually was seeing it happen. It wasn't just believing because I saw other people. Now it was me that was, actually achieving that income too. So
yes, that's great. And that's so true because as a diamond, you're a leader, but you don't really have to know everything about volume and the downline and all that. It's when, okay, now I have another business center. Where am I going to put that? How am I going to put it so I could capitalize on the volume? How can I grow that? It's so much goes into it. which makes you a business owner, right? Which makes you like have to learn that stuff, which is so important for income. All right, Janet, how about you?
Very similar things. In fact, I think my goal to get to 2-star was so much about that quarterly bonus that I didn't really realize the other things that would come with it. And honestly, I didn't open my second business center for 6 months. I didn't. I know, crazy. I didn't. No one told me that far. Nobody took me the next step. And so I hit in August and I didn't open until February. And then when you start seeing how the cycles and you put everything through that, so when you hit 2-star, you put everything through your second business center and you're automatically cycling to my husband, cycling to me. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Like, and I'm a math teacher and I love the idea of, the financial compensation part of it. And I love that. And I just sort of, I learned my lesson and I will totally tell everybody to just go for it the next day and put it in there. And, it obviously picks up financially from all the cycling, much more than the commission. That's really what happens when the 2-star goes from, your business is more commission based to the cycling and seeing that volume and the team cycle bonuses, and it makes a big difference.
Right.
And that started to show me that, I'm still teaching, but my plans are, I really am making some deadlines now that we're going to be changing that, because I do need to grow some more, but it made me start to see that there's some other outcome to this. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Stacy, how about you?
When I opened my second business center, it literally was the same thing. It was like, thank God I can have another one of me. Because half these women just ain't cutting it. So that was a huge benefit. And it actually, I made that a diamond, and that actually got me to Premier for last year because that was one of my diamonds that counted. So do you go for Success Club in your, what happens is you do not hit Success Club in your second business center. When you sell a challenge pack through your second business center and get Success Club, it all rolls up to your main business center. So whether you're selling challenge packs through your first or your second, it's all under your first. It all combines.
Thank God.
Thank God is right.
Yeah, that would be like an ordeal and a half. But yeah, the bottom line is we all are go-getters. We all want more. We're all willing to hustle. It is not easy to find hustlers, bottom line. So getting to 2-star enables you to sign on another hustler yourself. That's it in a nutshell.
Yep, agreed. Tamara.
Yeah, everybody had such awesome things to share. I don't know that I can give much more, but that like at Diamond, I started really tracking those cycles and really like figuring out like this volume thing and understanding that more. And when you are able to open up that other business center, you've already built a diamond, right? You've already built at least a family member to get to where you are. We've heard that from all of us. We duplicated ourselves. That was one of the two. So if you can get to diamond once, you can get to diamond again, and you can duplicate it a third time, and you can duplicate it every time you have that opportunity. I wish I had more family members. But when you do that and you start really tracking these cycles, I remember seeing like the first cycle, and then 2, and then, okay, now we're over 10. And then, you see it building and chugging, and the weeks that you don't even have retail, you're getting paid because of the volume that's being created. And now you're leading a team, and it changes the whole mindset. The trainings that I've seen from this company at a leadership level are like beyond NLC, and then what we all as leaders experienced at Summit in that private training session was just tremendous. Like, it really does set you up to be able to take this seriously. It's no longer a side gig. Yes, it might be your side gig, but you're taking this serious, and you're compounding on the behaviors so that you're growing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Patty.
I think to piggyback on what everybody has said too, like that 2-star piece just kind of made my backbone a little bit taller. You know what I mean? As a leader, like I always knew I could be a great leader, but it just kind of was like, yeah, you got it, you earned it. And there was also that piece from corporate. I think that's when I started getting my weekly calls with my corporate mentor. And that just kind of, the fact that my company wanted to give me that time, it just, like them pouring into me just lit me on fire.
Right. It's true. And like when you guys were talking about traveling, like as 2-star, if you go to if you went to see headquarters, like that is when that you're like no longer just working from home, kind of in this little, God knows where, no one's around you too. You actually belong to something bigger and you are a leader in this business. Like so many of my coaches came back and they were like, this is legit the best business I could ever be a part of. And you get that on a personal level. And guys, that's everything. Yes, you could open up your second business center. Yes, you're going to get more volume, more income, and you want that. But you really feel like, okay, I'm a part of something bigger. I'm a part of amazing business. You get to know like Carl and his vision, and you see that all over headquarters and all of that. It's powerful. It's so powerful. So if you can, okay, Candace is going to hop on, but if you can, a goal of yours should be to be at the next New Leader Conference next year.
Hands down, I wish I could go back every year. Like, I'm like, can I, like when they were going this year, I'm like, no, I want to go again. If I build the second one to 2-star, can I do that? Can I go again? Like it was, Patty and I went, it was, every time my memories pop back up, I'm just like, oh, like it was so amazing to stand in front of the Shakeology wall that we see pictures of, and to just be there, and just like you said, I think Chrissy was there. We were all there at the same time. Like, just it's an amazing experience.
Yes, so amazing. Okay, Candace, hop on, unmute yourself.
Okay, so I just got a couple messages from my coaches, and I realized that probably some of the lingo we've been using is a little bit confusing. We probably should have explained this in the beginning.
Sorry.
So we're just going to kind of segue into what the term second business center means. Okay, so what happens when you pop 2 diamonds and you turn 2-star diamonds? So let's just say, for the sake of discussion, I have Chrissy Bergeron and Danielle Tanous. Those are my 2 diamonds, okay? Once I turn 2-star, then I get to sign another Candace Talbot under me. So I fill out this form. I know it sounds crazy. It's just like you're signing another coach, okay? Mm-hmm. Except they're not going through your site. They, meaning you. You fill out a form. You submit it to Beachbody, and they put another you under you. So my first Beachbody account, the one I signed up on December of 2012, is my screen name is Fit Mama 2012. But my second business center is Fit Mama 2014. Okay. So what happens now is I now take that new Candace, the new Candace that is signed up under Candace, and I get her to diamond. Okay. And now that's a third diamond. But what happens, guys, is I'm seeing a lot of discussion in the thread, is that every time I sell something under that second business center, that second Candace, all those Success Club points count as a whole to your first business center. So your second Candace, second whoever you are, doesn't get Success Club points. Only your first one does. But what happens is you're getting all this volume from your second business center because you just signed yourself up. So think about when you have that coach underneath you and they're selling stuff. Now you're selling stuff, but you're benefiting from yourself. Okay. So it was some confusion as to whether the second business center was the spouse account. No, that spouse account, that family account, that's something completely different. Okay. And I'm sure you're like, oh my God, I'm going to get this one to diamond, that one to diamond. It's not a big deal. Don't overthink it. Okay. You just do it. You just do it because that's where the magic happens. And that's what every single leader, every single top coach, any single 2-star and above coach has a spouse or a family member as a diamond of theirs. Okay. I just want to check the chat bar real quick.
Can I answer Kelly's question? She asked, like, what
Yeah.
happens if your first CBC loses diamond? I think the reality is, like, that was never even a worry because you're building to get to 2-star. You got to have a good number of coaches. Like, that's just the truth of it because there's not everybody's a rock star. So you're recruiting and you're placing, and you're using your husband's business center, but you're using your first, and you have to have a certain number of coaches on your first business center that are active in order to be a 2-star. I don't know that number off the top of my head. I don't know if anybody else does, but for each rank advancement, you have to have a certain number of active working coaches. So you really wouldn't have to worry about that, but it doesn't change anything. It just, you don't let it happen.
I was just going to add on, Kelly, I have dropped, but you just get it back. Like just like with any rank, you could drop and then you just move it back, same thing.
Yeah, you don't lose your second business center because your first one dropped.
Right.
But you would lose like a bonus, a quarterly bonus if it was during the 6 weeks you were holding it. Something that's really good to know though, guys, so your spouse is another business center that you own. So like, for example, your second business center can go on your spouse's weak leg. And if that's the case, you're going to have volume underneath yourself. And then your husband, if he's Emerald, he's cycling. And he could cap out $250 a week. That's a good chunk of change weekly just coming in because you're under his weak leg selling stuff.
Yeah, and I want to add one more thing too. I know that I'm glad that there's been such a nice retention on this call tonight, but for those of you guys have stuck around, so you're obviously very serious about growing, but there's a lot of talk about diamond and get to diamond. Guys, diamond is just the beginning, okay? Diamond is the emerald, okay? That's like, you're really just getting started there at diamond. Like, I see a lot of coaches, they push for diamond and then they're like, oh, I'm diamond. And then everything kind of fizzles. But like diamond's literally like, okay, you're in. Okay, you're now you're in. Now you're starting. Now this is where you're going to start to see the magic unfold because now you have an emerald on each leg that are working. And you don't want to be a retailer forever, okay? You want to get people underneath you. But guys, don't forget, like, this is a numbers game. You got to be talking to massive amounts of people because if I have to add up all the coaches in my business center, my second business center, my husband's, and my mom too, it's probably 100 coaches or so. And I don't want to freak you guys out, but I've been a coach for 5 years. So, I mean, it makes sense. But I've had to go through a lot of people to find, we're always looking. It doesn't matter what rank you are. You're always looking for those people. So I just want you, for some of you that are looking for some takeaways, like your goal is 2-star. Like your goal shouldn't be, oh, I want to be diamond this year. Your goal should be, I want to be 2-star ASAP so I can start making more money. Because, I mean, that's what you want to do, right? Like everybody wants to make more money and you should be unapologetic and unashamed that you want to make money. I told my team yesterday, I want an abundance of money raining down. Okay. And that's okay. Like money, it doesn't buy happiness, but it certainly saves your ass a lot. So anyway, that's all I got tonight. And, we've been on for about an hour. I think we pretty much, got the point across to you guys. And, I hope that you now take this and run. It's the beginning of the year. Guys, one more before we sign off. 2-star, guess what that will do for you this year, that will enable you to be a premier coach, a 2018 or 19, whatever they're calling it, premier coach. So if you're pushing for 2-star this year, guess what? You have the chance to be a premier coach this year. That's a huge accomplishment. Or maybe you be an elite coach. If you're a 5-star or above coach, you can be an elite coach. So there's so much possibility there, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And let's do this March 1.
Yes. Let's hit Success Club this week.
All right, guys. Have a great night.